Oh my gosh. Immune system part two. I'm super excited because we've talked about nutrition and the immune system. And I think people think of the immune system as, okay, I'm sick. Do I have a strong immune system? What am I doing to support my immune system? And I think I've been spoiled. I've been around Juice Plus for years and getting those nutrients in my body. But I think there's been a lot of damage to people in their immune system. Number one, not knowing what it really is, but not realizing, as we pointed out 2 weeks ago, how important the immune system for us to feed it. For us, I think, dearly, what we really talked about was from the working the inside out. When we said, "Oh my gosh, there's more to this than we need a part two," probably part three as well, but how we can connect this to muscle. And I knew a lot and I love what I know, but I tell you what, I did no idea how this communication system was so important.
Mm.
And I'm sure people can relate. Has anyone ever felt like they're doing all the right things and but the body doesn't get the memo? And I was just with some relatives last week, and one of them was like, I'm doing all the right things. I'm exercising. I'm riding my bike every day. I'm eating the right stuff, I think. I'm sleeping okay. I'm drinking plenty of water. And why can't I get this weight off? And I've been asking it several questions. Okay, is it emotional? Is there stress here? Is there, and I'll talk about it as well, but the fact that dessert spelled backwards is stressed? Maybe.
Mm.
And so I went to a deep dive and I wanted, if you can put it on that first slide, people to
Sure.
relate to. I got some really cool stuff. I'm just going to make sure I got the right notes here. But this is that's the slide I want right there. Being tired all the time, sick and tired of being tired, bloated, inflamed, the belly fat, the muffin top. I don't drink coffee, but I have relied on caffeine. You have a down, you think, can I just get some caffeine to get me through the day? I am doing the right things, but why do I have a muffin top? Why is it taking so long? Why don't I feel like I'm getting results? And it's not really a willpower problem. And as it says right here, and I want you to be able to see it in words, the body is changing. We've talked all our master classes, we've talked about hormone shifts, and we know muscles decline. But there's a messaging system going on that is super important. And I'm constantly hearing all the time, I'm eating better than I normally do. I'm trying harder. I'm walking. I'm watching my sugar. I'm doing my steps, but my weight doesn't move. My energy is low. They feel inflamed. And that inflamed, I don't know if you can relate, Darely, but that inflamed, feeling bloated thing is just not fun whatsoever. And we automatically think we don't have the discipline. I think we give up on ourselves. We think it's our fault. And I don't think it's a willpower problem. I just think we forget that our bodies are changing so much. And we know the hormone shift, and we probably know that much information about our hormones compared to what's out there. Because the doctors, a lot of
Mm.
us aren't being educated on that or weren't. We know that our muscle mass declines, inflammation increases. So our internal signaling system is changing. So I see this pattern a lot. Someone is doing many of the right things. The body's not responding. It's not doing what it used to do. And we would look deeper. We often discover the issue isn't effort. The muscle, the issue is muscle signaling and inflammation regulation. One of the biggest changes after 40, and I don't do age, but I must admit, okay, I'm over 40, the muscle mass and how the body communicates internally, that changes. So we know muscle is for strength. Muscle is one of the largest communication systems in the body. Daryl, do you mind going to the next slide? I really appreciate it. You've got to see this in words, you guys. Muscle is one of the largest communication systems in the body. Scientists now describe skeletal muscle as a metabolic and immune organ. So skeletal muscle, what is it? So you've seen the picture of the skeleton. Skeleton muscle helps move the bones. That's how simple it is. but it's not just for movement, and it's for strength, but it's being a metabolic. It's like that's your if you were to say you like if you have a cat and you hear a cat purring, or your engine is just idling, that's the purring or the idling of your energy is your metabolic system. And when muscles contract, and I've done this before, you got muscle fibers, and you contract a bicep. Muscle fibers contract, they go into each other, and they release. When that happens, they release a chemical signals that affect the whole body. And when muscles contract, they release chemical messengers called myokines. Now, we're all very good at texting, very good at emailing, WhatsApp messages. This is exactly what our bodies, if things aren't functioning properly, your body can't text the body parts and say, hey, Sam, get busy. You got to separate more body fat over there. And you know what? She wants to move. Can you just rev up her engine a little bit so she can burn more calories? So I want you to look at this word. If you have a pen and paper, I would get it. Dearly, one more slide. Be great. Myokines, just like the word signs. So the word signs, kinds. These are protein signaling molecules released by muscle cells during contraction. So the reason I want you to write it down, because we're never told about this stuff. And myokines, they communicate with your immune cells. They regulate inflammation, they reduce fat metabolism, or they influence fat metabolism, and they support your immune surveillance. So what does that mean? These are I had to get my head around this. These are protein signaling molecules released by your muscle cells during contraction. So that means for those of you who went to the weight room tonight, you know who you are. And I was in there this morning. I'm working my biceps and my muscle fibers are contracting and releasing, contracting, releasing. I'm asking to do a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. When that's happening, these protein signaling myokines are released by the muscle cells. Think of them as tiny messages your muscles send to the rest of your body. Now, what can the messages be? This is what blew my mind. And there's a difference between moving and strength training. We'll get there. But so, can you imagine suddenly messages are getting to your inflammation, the parts of your body feels bloated, and say, hey, we got to do something about this. Your metabolism, how the purring, the burning body fat's going, how the engine's idling, your blood sugar, how you're using it, how you're regulating it, your immune activity, the protectors. What's that? I think of Star Wars, all running around those uniforms. And what does it look like in there? What kind of Star Wars activities happening? And brain function. So muscle is medicine for your metabolic system, inflammation, and your immune system.
Wow.
Muscle's medicine. So I want you to get a pencil, write it down. You're going to write down the letter IL-6. Now, one important myokine is called interleukin. They just put IL-6. Here's what's crazy. Here's just one of these myokine, one messaging system. IL-6, or interleukin-6, is released from belly fat. IL-6 released from belly fat. It increases inflammation. If IL-6 is released from working muscles, it actually helps reduce inflammation. So it's the same molecule, different effect, which means movement changes the chemistry inside your body. It's totally crazy. So just to review, muscle is medicine for your metabolism, inflammation, and your immune system. I asked you to get a pencil and write down the letter I like insect and L like Laura -6. IL-6 stands for it's a very important myokine. Interleukin-6. Reminds me so much of Star Wars. Now, this IL-6, which is a myokine, which communicates with the immune system, is looking right here in the slide, regulates inflammation. If it's released from belly fat, it increases inflammation. If
Hmm.
it's released from working muscles, it helps reduce inflammation. Same molecule, different effect, which means movement changes the chemistry inside your body. Movement also improves something called immune surveillance. Exercise increases circulation of immune cells, such as natural killer cells, T cells. These cells patrol the body looking for problems. Simple explanation: sitting will park your immune cells, movement sends them out on patrol. Now, Daryl and I have been talking for, hate to say it, you guys, over 2 years, trying to get people to get up and move at their desk every hour, every 45 minutes. Just get up and move. What kind of messages do you want? We're taking you deeper. We're taking you not just what you might see in TV. Now we're taking you and saying, hey, inside your body, the messaging system, the text you're sending can be, oh yeah, I love inflammation, or no, flip, I want to get rid of it. You decide what the text message is going to be. And as we're talking about myokines, these just the molecules that have a message. If you're moving, just get up and move. I know some of you have been in the weight room tonight. I know some of you went to water fitness this morning. Just moving is sending good messages to your body. Sitting will park, Parks, parks your immune cells, but
Hmm.
movement sends them on patrol. Okay, so now we're after 40. What happens? We've, once again, adults lose 3 to 8% of muscle mass per decade after the age of 30. Might not seem like much. It's not an important enough figure in percentage. This is why I know people are ignoring it. I'm going to lose 3%. Oh, what does that mean? When suddenly you just start feeling weaker, your skin is hanging off, all these other things we don't like to look in the mirror. Why? Oh, I've got skin hanging off my arm. Flip and decide to do some strength training and get the muscle strong. You're not going to look like Popeye. You can do something about it. So after menopause, muscle loss may reach 1 to 2% per year without resistance training. But let me go back. What was the first statistic? Adults lose 3 to 8% of muscle mass per decade, per 10 years. Doesn't sound very scary. But if after menopause, muscle loss may reach 1 to 2% per year without resistance training, that's a lot. And by the way, let me just remind you, as we've had various guests on before, when you don't get your period 12 months in a row, that day, okay, 12 months, I don't get my period. That day, that's menopause. The next day, postmenopause. It's like a 1 day deal. And then it's like a journey to get there and then a journey afterwards. And that whole time, our body's changing. How we treat our body, how we feed it, how we move will determine, in many cases, how your body responds to those changes. My grandmother has had no clue when she went through menopause. My mother, I don't have time to, I didn't have time to sit down and think about having a hot flash. Either does my mom. So we are very lucky that we never had to deal with some of those symptoms. But why did our bodies react that way? Was it because we were moving? Because we were sending good messages? Just think about it. And for those of you that are over 40 right now, how do you want to go forward? No judgment here. This is today. How do you want to start tomorrow? Less muscle can mean slower metabolism, more fat storage, more inflammation. That just is almost like certain parts of your body. It's like putting a thumb in your mouth and you're pumping it up. You're pumping it up. It's all swollen because things are happening in those areas that aren't working regularly like a little machine. Your body's responding somehow. And lower energy. Let me repeat those four. None of these you want. Slower metabolism, more fat storage, oh goody, more inflammation, and lower energy. So, what's the key thing here? After 40, muscle isn't optional, it's protective. My mom, 97, she's got muscle. She can do squats. She can get down the floor faster than I can. She has to work at it, but so do we. So, here's a fun concept. As I just mentioned at the beginning, Dessert spelled backwards is stressed. Now, this is going to sound familiar because we've talked about it before. And for any of you that have never heard any of our talks before, please get back to us. They're all recorded and we'd love to share. Dessert spelled backwards is stressed. Okay, stress increases cortisol. Cortisol increases sugar cravings. Sugar can increase inflammation. Movement helps interrupt this cycle. So, just doesn't mean you can't have a dessert. Just means you got to move. We've taught that secret weapon of moving at least 10 minutes after you eat is so key for regulating that blood sugar. Okay, some of you in here right now, because I see you, can relate to this. Walking versus strength training. Walking is excellent. Walking improves your circulation, your heart health, stress reduction, and your immune cell circulation. But I know, capital B, strength training does something additional. So I want you to think about that. We're just, what's that word expression used dearly? You've always used the word stacking. We're stacking. Basic, non-negotiable. You got to get up and move. Go walking. Put in the steps. But strength training does something additional. It releases more myokines. It improves insulin sensitivity. Okay, take a yellow highlighter. It reduces visceral fat, that fat around your organs we don't want, and it stabilizes your blood sugar. Walking keeps the system moving. Strength training rebuilds the system. And rebuilding, that's what a lot of us want. Now, interesting, scientists measure inflammation using a marker. They call it C, like the letter C, reactive protein, CRP. CRP, C, reactive protein, is produced by the liver and increases when inflammation is present. Research shows regular strength training can lower your C reactive protein levels, which helps calm inflammation or inflammatory signals in the body. Get out the yellow highlighter. Muscle contraction also influences the brain. Exercise in general stimulates your brain-derived neurotropic factor. Big long phrase that abbreviates to BDNF. What does it do? Muscle contraction helps your brain with memory, learning, and mood. And I love this. Scientists sometimes call movement fertilizer for the brain. There you go, Darely, the gardener in us. Now, why would you not want to? So, for the warrior reset, strength reset, and I will do a video in our Facebook group so you can see it. I did a little bit this morning. If you haven't done that one, go try it out. But here's a wellness warrior simple living room routine. Imagine standing up, sitting down in a chair squats, wall push-ups against a wall. Imagine lying on your back, knees bent, feet flat, and you lift your hips up. It's called a bridge. Your glutes, your gluteus maximus, is your main butt muscle. So every time you lift your hips up, you're contracting the glutes. A plank can be done against a wall or the floor. It's basically when you're resting on your forearm and you have on your toes and you have your whole body straight and the whole abdominal area has to contract to keep you there, and your butt and your shoulders. For some people, it's easier to start against a wall. And let's take one more, balance. Lifting that knee up, just balancing, holding one leg up in the air. Maybe you're trying to tie your shoe. That is a simple routine. Now, your body, and hopefully these examples make sense, but your body loves overload. It loves a little bit more, a little challenge. So to keep it simple, I'm going to put my hands to the ceiling 10 times. Now I'm going to take my water bottle, which is full. It looks gigantic. Now I'm going to lift that up 10 times. I'm overloading that shoulder more than my other shoulder because I've got something in my hand and it has a weight attached to Strength train safely. It's called progressive overload. Just if you go walking, if you're used to walking 1 mile and then you decide to go, I'm going to go with my girlfriend, walk a mile and a half, great. But don't go walking 10 miles the first time. Your shins will be sore. You'll have all sorts of side effects. So progressive overload is when your body can adapt to change. Maybe you do more repetitions. Rather than 10 squats, you do 20. Maybe you do a squat and you hold it down there a little bit. Your butt doesn't touch the chair, you just hold it. Or maybe you're going to hold something in your chest while you do a squat. That'd be more weight for your body. Progressive overload. And then people always say to me, okay, how long does this take? I want to see some results. I'm feeling like a piece of doo-doo and my pants don't fit. I feel bloated, don't like myself, can't look in the mirror. Actually, I haven't looked in the mirror in a week. I had my pants on backwards because I didn't look in the mirror. All these things we put ourselves through, especially as females. But in 1 to 2 weeks, you may notice better energy, improved mood, better sleep. Now, can you imagine if you add this with all the nutritional stuff we talked about? Huge. Just by you doing strength training in 4 to 6 weeks, improve strength because your body has to adapt and physiological change, improve blood sugar control. But man, that 8 to 12 weeks when your body just loves to adapt, you're talking about your body composition changes. That means your body fat percentage will go down, muscle mass goes up, your muscle tone suddenly, oh, I got bicep here. And then your body is ticking, that purring or the idling of the engine has improved, it's gone up. Now, what is the key component here? Consistency, you guys. My mom at 97 doesn't squat down and pick something out of the bottom drawer of the kitchen because she just can. She had to work at that. She has to be squatting every day. Today in the workout in the gym, I did lunges, which is like 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and you like pretend you're kneeling down with the back leg. It took me, I haven't done those in ages, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. Now, once my body adapted, because I did it 3 times, and the first time was like a rehearsal. Second time, my body went, oh, yeah, I remember this. And the third time, my body was like, oh, okay, I can do this. It's the exact same thing I'll be teaching you in the Facebook with the exercise programs. That's why we do things like 3 sets, because you need that. But what's your key takeaway here? Come on, Laura, a lot of blah, blah, blah. And I know you love this stuff, Laura, but seriously, every time you contract a muscle, you release signals that help regulate your inflammation and support your immune system. And that's what we're talking about. Movement is communication with your immune system. They're sending a text. Now, think back during the years where people were restricted to go outside and play, COVID and the rest of it. There's a lot of non-movement happening then. You don't think that if you're one of them, reflect back. Do you think all that non-movement, it wasn't like a week, it was a couple months, affected where you are now? And if it did, if you're reflecting on that, then let's get you started. Let's get you going one little baby step at a time. So knowing that movement is a communication with your immune system, I'm sure everyone here knows what to do with the text. You all know how to use the email. That is communication. That's exactly what movement does with your immune system. And then it's a domino effect. It might not fall as fast as you want, but it's one thing after another. So if any of this is resonating with you, and we'll do some questions, and any of this applies to your life, and I know people that are here live, you're doing something. What else do you have to do? What's in your way? Usually it's a little guy in our shoulder, either saying, man, I'm already doing this, I don't need to do anything else. You probably do. And that's what we do on clarity calls, right there, Lee? I mean, to get you on a phone call, which doesn't cost you anything, and to ask you questions that might open up that doorway for you to be able to say, oh, is that it? Because we're designed to move, not perfectly, not intensely, just consistently. And every time you move your muscles, you release signals that support your metabolism, your brain, and your immune system. And that's why we say muscle is truly medicine. So the question is, can your body change? Actually, the question isn't, can your body change? The question is, what small step will help it change 1 step at a time? And people that are frustrated, need to realize that it's not going to happen overnight, but you have to keep dissecting the issue in a good way. I'm sure people going through relationship issues, if they're doing it the smart way, they're asking questions. They have outside professionals maybe saying, "Oh, do you think you're looking at it this way? What's your perspective?" There's a lot of stuff happening in the world right now. It's all people's perception on what they think. But we are our own doctors. We need to be our own health advocate. And as we share our passion with you on how easy it is to take one step forward and make one small change, it's our muscle is truly medicine. And I didn't realize we know food is medicine, but our bodies, I think we underrate them. We forget sometime, unless they feel perfect. We forget sometime that we do need to respect them, we need to take care of them, and it's a balancing act. And if you go out and have a great night with some friends, maybe a couple drinks, you ate a pizza, maybe you had fried something, so what? Enjoy it. But then it's the balancing act of, and I know, dearly, we talk about this all the time, the balancing act. Okay, for the next couple of days, I'm going to be eat really clean while this stuff gets out of my body. It sure was good to eat, but as my body metabolizes, which takes a couple of days, the fried French fries or whatever, then it can happen. So I truly appreciate the fact that you are keen on your health, and this is chemistry. And I think even though I didn't really do chemistry in school, I'm sure interested in it now, knowing that me moving, walking versus doing strength training is huge by adding the two. And that's why we encourage you to move every day, ideally 150 minutes a week, accumulatively, and definitely strength train at least 2 to 3 times a week.
And I think, Laura, the key is like those baby steps. Don't think you have to do, right, a ton to start. You do a little bit to start. And like you said, just keep adding a little bit more, do a little more overload. And yeah. And I keep thinking of if Laura's mom at 97 can do these exercises, so can I. And that,
And it's interesting how she's busy walking on her last trip, and she's constantly working on her posture and making sure that she's standing up straight and making sure she's taking care of this vehicle the best she can. And because she's not done yet. She told us, I'm not done yet. I got things I have to do. And we've got to keep moving. And I think even, excuse me, when people feel, feel depressed and anxious and so forth, I don't blame them. There's been times where I'm like, look in the mirror and go, you've got to be kidding. How did I even let myself get to this? But to know that by taking these small steps, you can change. It's not going to happen overnight, you guys. Hate to tell you, but you can feel like it can. Just going out, doing a workout, you finish and go, you know what? I really didn't want to do that, but I sure do feel better. And that's how it always feels. Does anybody have any questions as our minds twirl? But it's interesting, isn't it, how we can, and I think as a mom of, but also as a mom to 200 something kids when I see them every week, how I talk, how I move, my energy is super important for them growing up, for them to
Mhm.
see a good role model. And that's what it is, right? And when we worked with a CEO of a company and suddenly everyone in his business is, I don't know what's happening with him. I want some of whatever he's taking because he's focused, he looks great, he leaves at 5 and spends time with his family. That person may not have known how to do that before or given themselves permission. But all of you here know that something as simple as setting a timer on your computer to get up every 45 minutes, you have to remember some people never thought about that.
Yeah.
Or every time my phone rings to get up and stand up. Some people never think, oh, that's a good idea. Or maybe I fill my water bottle only halfway, so when I'm done, I have to get up and go fill it up again. Or maybe I park farther away than I normally do because then I must say, I don't know about you guys, but if I park too close to a store, I definitely feel guilty. I have to park farther away. I'm not doing my job to add the extra steps. But if we can just, in winter, can do such a deterring mood swing for some people. But I think if we just get out, make it a priority, and so it's only 10 minutes. So what? You had a client show up or you forgot you had to be with someone. Just, and I was going down some bleachers yesterday and I thought, "Oh, that's it. I'm going to come over here and do bleachers once a week just because I don't have any steps. I've got to get these stairs in." But I know we can do it, you guys. I know with Wellness Warriors, asking the right questions. And I want you to ask yourself when the guy on one shoulder says, "Oh my gosh, I have so many people here this week." Okay, Laura, I know I can't even begin to think about that. This week I've got company coming. Why not set the example for your company? Why not say, "You know what? I have to get my 5-minute walk in. Do you want to come?" Why not? No, they don't want to. They want to eat potato chips and hummus. Let them. But you've what you do is going to set, and what you're going to hear is this: don't you ever rest? What does resting mean to you? Or how many people do we know that watch a lot of Netflix? I'm not condoning Netflix. I'm just saying, how much time do you really have to watch Netflix? I'm choosing, that's my life. I'm choosing to do something else rather than watch Netflix and 3 o'clock in the afternoon because the sun's still out. And I was brainwashed when I was a child. If the sun is out, you have to be out. So I think if we just ask ourselves what works for us, how can we get these minutes in, and I have some fun with it, especially for those of you who have people in your house to say, "Honey, I'm going out to take the garbage." Okay, great. Now go out, take the garbage, go around the driveway if you have a driveway, or down the street in the condo, and then come back. And just tell them it might be a few minutes because I'm adding in extra steps. You feel good, you come back, you've got this glow on. Trust me, other people around you are going to go, "Oh, what are you doing again? Why don't you come with me? Come figure it out." And that's the truth. So thank you for joining us. We look forward
Thank
to
you,
sending the
Laura.
replay out. Get on that Facebook group if you're not on there. And if you are one of those people who don't like Facebook, just send us a text. We can just send you a video. It's easier. When I make it, if I know that in the morning, and as soon as I video it, send it to you, and then you've got it. But we all have a place to have weights. We all have soup cans, I'm sure. We've all got things to do. We can all stand up and sit down again. Yeah, we can do this.
We can do this. That was great. Really good, Laura.
So high five to
Thank
all of
you.
you,
Thank you.
and let's see you soon.
Alrighty. Bye-bye,
Thanks,
Okay,
everybody.
Laura.
bye.
Appreciate it.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.